Hello and welcome to King of Hearts, Queen of Sorrows. This is your host, Matthew. I am, my voice is not doing well, so I've got a lozenge. I've got lozenges for days, actually. And I've got something else I want to talk about later, so I need to kind of preserve my voice, so I'm kind of going to keep it down low, and hopefully it's not weird or creepy. So, anyway, there you go, but it's been 30 seconds, so I ought to get to the main thing. Talking about G Gundam Episode 3. So here are the highlights for the episode. Domon fights Neo-China's fighter, Saici. Sai had lost his Dragon Gundam to some criminals, and his guardians pushed Domon to defeat him so they could save face. It was a misunderstanding. Bandits had Dragon Gundam, like I said. Sai and Domon fought an honorable match, ending in a draw. So, what's Rain like this episode? Well, she's pulling a gun on some bandits. It looks like a real gun with bullets that she is threatening to use on them. She doctors an injured toddler and feels badly for the people victimized by the bandits. She's rather brave about being taken hostage by the monks. Susan and Kun are their names. Anyway, Domon sort of seems to forget about rescuing Rain at some point when he declares he is more concerned about getting back his Corelander. Then again, he does need it to pilot Shining Gundam because the monks basically captured Rain and said, "You'll get her back when you defeat Dragon Gundam." Let me see. So Saici, what is he like? Well, he's the pilot of Dragon Gundam, sort of. He actually loses it. It's a Gundam fight international regulation that a Gundam fighter is responsible for taking care of their own Gundam, and the kid loses it, so that's not good. Kind of gets in trouble for that. Or he doesn't want to get in trouble, so he doesn't tell Kun and Zeus that he lost it, so then he proceeds to trick Domon. So he's a trickster. He seems very transactional about everything. He is laying in the road, and Domon finds him in the Corelander, or Domon's driving the Corelander, and then he ends up. Domon asks him to get out of the way or whatever. Or no, so Saici asks him if he can get in, and Domon's like, "Nah, I'm going to that mountain over there. I can't stop." And then he's like, "Okay," and then he crawls away, and then he pops up in his car with him, and then Domon just agrees to help him. But then he ends up tricking him. They need money for food and lodging and stuff, so they end up working at a restaurant, and with his cooking skills, he gets them in, and he has Domon doing dishes, and then he steals extra money or extra food from the people that they were working for and stuff, and Domon is just kind of like, "Ugh, this kid, what is he doing?" So it's kind of funny, and anyway, he is clever in the way that he used Domon, and then the tricksteriness kind of goes into his fighting style as well. He has all these flags on Dragon Gundam that he can put out, and he kind of obscures the vision of his enemy, and then he just uses them to trick them and almost like a ninja, shadow duplicate himself, like a substitution technique type thing. But it's not quite that. It's with the flags, so pretty neat. I have no idea what themes were at play here. Maybe something about taking personal responsibility, because Saici doesn't do that, and then Seisun and Kun are like, "Oh, we'll make sure that we teach our pupil better, and that we, as his guardians, will ensure that he doesn't cause trouble to people like this anymore." So that's about it. The only real bits of lore that are there, I think, are that the Shaolin Temple on Earth was failing, so years ago, the colonial one, which is called the Chikurin Temple, 60 years ago when the Gundam fight started, the Chikurin Temple was started in the colony, and a bunch of people abandoned Shaolin, and it looks like it's confusing. It seems like Saici's father lives on Earth, and Saici's from Earth, and then he went up to study in the Chikurin Temple, and then he's coming back, and if he wins, then he can ask the Emperor of China to give more favor to Shaolin and resurrect it, which is a cool, noble goal, but it just seems weird the guy's going from Earth to the colony and then back to Earth to fight, and I'm not sure how familiar with Earth China Saici is, but I don't know how long he's been training up on the colony either. We see him leaving from the colony, so we know he was there, so it's a little weird. Let me see. No gadgets from Rain in this episode. Anyway, that's about it. It was a fun episode. I did like it. Saici, she's a fun character, and the tricksteriness was just, it was a little weird, why, it was almost excessive, why it was happening, but ended up being cool. And actually, this fight ends in a draw in a pretty neat way. Saici, he's like a really good fighter, and not to spoil anything, but I would almost have been interested for them to, or I would almost be interested in like a sequel starring Saici as the protagonist. I could think that could be pretty cool. Although maybe he's had too much of an arc here already. I don't know. Anyway, that's going to be it. So remember to go out there and grasp happiness, folks.